So now, with that being said, that's how you can easily apply super. I'm going to show you some other things on a real road I designed back in the day. But also, since we're talking about these little bump outs, we also handle knuckles. But in order to show you how this is going to work, I'm going to make one right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to basically draw polyline. This is road. Well, we can do it just like that. There's road A, and here's road B. Might want to extend this a little bit and just move it up some just to give us a little bit more center lines here. So I'm going to go in here real quick and put together a RoadNET. So I need to do new, and this is, I'll call this test, and we'll replace it. You guys can see I do that quite a bit. Let me go ahead and add a center line. My existing surface is not set. These are things that'll get you every time, and it makes you do it. So now it's got that surface. So now I can just go ahead and say screen pick a poly. This is going to be, assign it to a center line file real quick, and this is going to be A. Let me make it caps. So we'll call it A. Save. Okay, now Carlson's writing my profile for me automatically. I need to put PVIs and all that kind of stuff in it, but I'm not too worried about that right now because I'm not really designing. This is to show you how to get a knuckle. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to add this one. Select the road, screen pick a polyline, boom, grab a hold of that, assign it. We're going to call him B. Save. And so now we've got these two things for our RoadNet. The three things that we automatically need, it just adopts templates that we've made from past or new ones or whatever. And then of course our design profile, this is what Carlson gives us, is that straight line shot from existing to existing. And then we put in the PVIs and things like that. Well, I'm not going to worry about that right now because I'm not worried about vertical. Uh-oh. Plus, hold on. Road. Screen pick that guy. I think I missed him. And there we go. All right, there we go. And click OK. Now, the thing about what we're seeing here is we have a 90-degree turn. I've had this in subdivisions before, where you need a knuckle on the outside of this 90-degree turn. Well, to do that, you can come in here and double click on your intersections. And if you start to look at some of the stuff in here, if you go to your front left, this is as if you're designing this intersection. Now what you can see is we have the option. You won't see this option if you don't have two center lines and some kind of deflection. This is 90 degrees. It can be 22, whatever, who cares? As long as you've got that in here, boom, use a knuckle. What is the main radius? Let's just go 35. And let's say that fillet radius is, we'll just put 25 in real quick. Now, if you look at the back right, you see that option's not available because we're not going to let you put that bubble on the inside, so just there you go. And so you click OK, then you process your RoadNet, and you can see, boom, there's that, and that knuckle put in for us at the corner of two roads. And then it wants to write out a surface model, so we'll just call it FGA. And that way you guys could see that's how easy it is to add in a knuckle or a bubble. Now the cul-de-sac thing, I think I showed you guys last time, but now I'm going to, just for the safety sake of time and kind of moving along to show you guys as much as I can. I've got some other stuff here. If we wanted to go back in, let's just go back in, and I'm going to load. I'll load my original. No, I don't want to save that. This is my original one that I had open to start with. So now we could just come back in here and start looking at other options that we can do in here, as well as like Super elevation, I talked to you a little bit about that. Topsoil removal, we can do a topsoil removal for every road in here. So let's just say, well, I'll overwrite it. Let's go road 2 and say new, open, yes. And so now what I've got is that topsoil removal. So you go over to edit, you create that file, and then you want to go in and add. Now you could come in here and say starting station of road 2, ending station, all that kind of stuff, and all these different topsoil, subsoil removal depths and things like that. You know, topsoil removal, let's just say 0.83. We got 10 inches. And you can click OK, boom, oh, OK, and save. There we go. And now that gets added into you. So when you process your road network, you should, once you process your road network, you should be able to see in your reporting here. I can't tell if that thing's done or not. There we go. Waiting on it. Okay. So I lost my track of thought of what I was going to tell you guys. Oh, me. Oh, so yeah, now I'm with it. Once I had to process this RoadNet first. And then when you process, you can look at the report, and that report is going to tell you that topsoil for you. So if I click on my clipboard and select output processing, we should start to get to see somewhere down here on the road stuff where you're starting to see topsoil removal and things like that for our designs and things like that to get added in. And those are things that if you want it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. You know, I've very rarely used this. I always just strip whatever they tell me to and go on about my business from my geotech report. Now, so at this point, other things in here, I've got a good example to show you guys about, I think, template transition. And so what I'm going to do here is I am just going to go ahead and exit this, save change. No, I don't care. And now I'm going to take you over to this guy. This guy I designed, I don't know, back when I was in private engineering up 10 years ago. And I had to put this in. So what we ended up, let me give you a little backstory here. I got buffers in the state of North Carolina on all my streams, 50 foot wide on each side of the top of bank. And so I have to be very careful about stream impacts here, you know, and whatever I'm going to be disturbing in this stream channel. So what I like to do is in my RoadNet here, you can see that I've got my typical normal slope. In this case, I made it exaggerated so you guys could see a difference. And this is 5-to-1. That's what this is. But when I come up to a Neuse River, a river buffer, then I need to program to bring my toe slope not from 5-to-1, but to 2-to-1, and tighten this up in here as tight as I can. So in order to do that, you have to create a, let me see here. What is that thing? I need to see this. There we go. And so now, so it's basically saying, all right, I'm coming from 5-to-1, even though this is in a field slope. But between this point and this buffer line, transition from 5-to-1 to 2-to-1. And so that is what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So in my RoadNet here, I got advanced roadway design. I've taught this class a few times. So if I open up this, you can see that I've got some super elevation, template transition. That's what we got right now, and we're going to make it. Or I could just show y'all just because of time what happens here. So with template transition, I'm going to edit this. You can see right here, I made a new file. It's using my the transitions here, and it's all, you know, some other stuff up here where you could set you know, the center line. There you go. And so now what you could do down here is start to add. So when you add, you could come in here and say, okay, I need to begin my transition at station 10 plus 0, 0. I'm 5 to 1 at 10 plus 0, 0. But at 11 plus 0, 0, I need to be 2 to 1. So that's what you're going to tell it. And for which side of the road. Because stream buffers don't cross at 90 degrees, then you may have difference per coming in and coming out of this buffer area where you're tightening things up. And so it's basically, you can pick, you know, so you pick, you come out here and you just, maybe you pick there, you know, and so there it knows that station. Okay, that's right where it looks like it's going to transition from cut to fill. And so that's where I would do it. And so now, and to get it to do, once you have this set, then you tell it the station, and I'll pick another station here too. Let me pick, and I'll go, let's just say about right there. Okay, and now I can come in here and set the cut here for this part as, instead of being, it's reading my template here, 2 to 1. And then come in here and fill, and I can go 2 to 1. Right side, better go 2 to 1 on that one too. You reckon? And let's say, okay, I think I didn't do that for this one. Cut. Yeah. Cut. Well, I'm gonna leave that at 5 to 1. Cut's fine. So I'm gonna say, okay. And now basically I have started this one here to here. That is here to here. And then over here on the other side, you're going to go from 2 to 1 back to 5 to 1. And so that's the stations that go here. And like I said, you can just pick however you want it to do. Now, you know, because of the right left sides, you may have to do, you know, 2 of these, because the stream buffer in this case is coming across at kind of a wild angle. So you end up having to do your left and the right side here. So you can either apply it to one or the other, or to both. This one in this case is probably going to be on the right side. And then I'm just going to say, okay. Now I'm going to process this thing and see what, exit, and see what we get out of here with this. Let's see here. Let me make sure. Yeah. We're going to look at these contours. We should be able to tell pretty quick. It's going to design. I got all the vertical and all that stuff over there that I've done in the past. Those things are pretty simple. And let's see, let's say, good gracious, at the surface models. Let's just go FG here and save. Yes. And so now when we get down here, we should be able to at least tell something that we did. Now this here, somewhere probably in this project are cross sections, and this is right here is going to update all my cross sections because I just changed what I had done in the design originally. So now behind the scenes, it just fixed all my cross sections. So now when we zoom in here, again, we're right back to kind of what we were of that transition and all of that stuff in our super elevation, and this also has super on it as well. So let's go look at that in advanced road design. See, in here you come in, you look at your super elevation, you come in here, boom, this is pretty much all set. And you just go, well, this road right here originally had 3 curves, and I took one out because I'm not responsible for that part. but I did have to design from here this way. And so I do have those two set in here. Like I've showed you, you guys can see I'm a rounder. I will not leave that kind of stuff for people to stake in a field. So that's that. So you guys can see that. And I am going to cancel because I want you guys to have a look at this. Let's isolate. We'll go here to here. Now I want you, this is what I want you guys to see is the super elevation that comes down this roadway. And you can see it pretty good as we're coming down our tangent. We start our transition, we end up in 4% full super in here, and then we come out of that transition. And then we'll go into the transition into the next curve down the road. So super elevation in this program is pretty simple. You know, it's pretty cut and dry. Uh, I don't really use template grade table that much, although I have heard that it is pretty good. I just don't know enough to teach it to you guys. So if I can't do it, you know, professionally, then I'm not going to try and, you know, smoke and mirror you guys with it. Uh, and so now template point, your template point center line, that's what we started with. And then there's also template point profile. So think about, you've got this road, it's got a ditch going down the side of it, okay? And that road with that road, you can adjust the grades in the table, but it's extremely complicated. Now, the template point profile part, you've got that road going down, the center line going down the road, and you got a ditch on one side. Well, maybe the ditch doesn't follow that roadway vertical, the vertical design of the road. Maybe it's just not uniform and you've got different things going on to get that water to wherever you need to go. That is what template point profile does. Template point centerline does it horizontally. Template point profile does it vertically. So, you know, it's like however you want to, you know, think about it in those two cents. The right-of-way offsets, what this does is it will limit. It's not like you think, you know, right away. That's what we all call it, but it's basically saying this is the limit as far as you can go. You know, like if you're running a road up a property line, you don't want to grade on somebody else's property. Well, that's where the right-of-way offsets may come in handy. Other places that I have used that is trying to tie back a lot of water crossings, you know, the stream crossings and things like that. Of course, road stripes, that'll put, you know, that's just a little much for me, but it'll put all that stuff in there if you want it. And then, of course, since in the beginning, when we did the basic RoadNET, we had it draw cross sections and create those cross sections automatically for us when we process our RoadNET. So